What's up, Oklahoma fans? Matt Hofeld from CrimsonandCreamMachine.com here with you to talk about the week that was, week 3 of college football within the Big 12. With the Sooners off this weekend, there's lots of conference play for Oklahoma fans to check in on, and really the Big 12 gets mixed reviews from week 3. First conference game of the season took place this weekend when TCU traveled to Kansas to take on the Jayhawks. You got to give Kansas credit for looking somewhat decent in this game against a team that many thought that they would be completely overpowered with. At the end of the day, the Jayhawks proved to be 14 points less than TCU, losing 20-6 at home. For the Frogs, maybe they have a little bit more to prove, and maybe they're not exactly where we thought they were, or possibly they were overlooking Kansas for somebody else. Who knows? Another game that brings a lot of attention within the conference was Oklahoma State playing at home against Louisiana Lafayette. Big story out of this game is freshman quarterback Wes Lunt going out early in the game with an apparent knee injury. Not for sure yet on exactly how long he'll be out. Speculation is 3 or 4 weeks, which is a big deal because the Cowboys off this weekend will have the Texas Longhorns coming to Stillwater the following week. Interesting note here, Oklahoma State jumps back into one of the top 25 polls this week after proving that they can beat Sisters of the Poor pretty handedly. However, when they end up actually playing a BCS conference team, the story is a little bit different. Lots of question marks there on the Oklahoma State secondary, defense in general, and Texas will no doubt put that to the test as well. Speaking of Texas, the Longhorns traveled to Oxford over the weekend to take on Ole Miss, in a game that the Longhorns won 66-31. While everyone's oohing and ahhing over David Ash and making him the Big 12 Player of the Week and this and that, and Dave O'Brien award, yada, 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 most logical fans are talking about how bad the Ole Miss defense actually is in coverage. Pass rushing as well. Well, actually stopping the running attack. Ole Miss probably one of the worst defenses Texas will play this year, but let's give credit where credit is due. Gadget plays got the job done for the Longhorns. Speaking of bad defenses, I'm thinking that maybe Texas should be a little bit worried. Not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that maybe they're a little bit overranked from where everyone has them being as one of the best, if not the best defenses in the Big 12. Ole Miss had several big plays in the passing game and averaged 5 yards per carry on the ground. If that's not shored up, it's going to be headache city for the Longhorns once they get into conference play against wide open offenses like, say, I don't know, West Virginia. One other score to talk about in the Big 12 was Kansas State winning only by 14 points over North Texas. Now, here's a game where you could legitimately say that the Wildcats were overlooking North Texas because their next opponent is Oklahoma in Norman. Not saying that's what happened, but this is a team that completely dismantled Miami just a couple of weeks ago and then looked a little bit lethargic against North Texas. I'm saying that this Kansas State team is probably somewhere between the team we saw dismantle Miami and the team we saw slug its way past North Texas. We'll find out for sure this weekend in Norman when the Wildcats come calling. A couple other scores you might want to know about within the Big 12. West Virginia wins 42-12, Baylor 48-23, Iowa State 37-3. Who are their opponents? Nobody cares. Let's conclude by talking about this weekend's games. 8 Big 12 schools in all in action this weekend, starting with Baylor on Friday night. They'll travel to Louisiana to take on a Louisiana Monroe team that has made waves over the last couple of weeks, beating Arkansas a weekend ago and then taking Auburn into overtime. Baylor certainly has its work cut out for them, but the Bears should arrive on top of that game. But it's definitely something you're going to want to keep track of. Let's ask Oklahoma State and Iowa State what happens in Friday night games on the road against a team that you're favored to beat. Other games you might want to take note of: Kansas at Northern Illinois, Texas Tech at Iowa State. In conference play should be a first true test for Texas Tech, also a massive test for the Iowa State defense that's looked somewhat impressive through the first 3 games of the season. Then you've got West Virginia at Maryland, old rival, and a bit of a border war going on up in the northeastern part of the country. Finally, Kansas State plays at Oklahoma this Saturday night, 6:50 kickoff Central Standard Time. Make sure you check Crimson and Cream Machine all week long this week as we talk Oklahoma, Kansas State. We'll give you the Wildcats perspective as well as Oklahoma's perspective as we completely break this game down here at CrimsonandCreamMachine.com all week long. Make sure you join with us. Check us out often. SB Nation's Crimson and Cream Machine. I'm Matt Hofeld.